Hey everybody, this is Danny Jr. And so now I'm going to talk to you guys about being on the left side of the equation and how they're squandering thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for you because you may be on that left side of the equation. And so I want to talk to you guys about a man named Tommy. You see, Tommy was a hustler. You see, Tommy was the individual, ever since he could remember, always worked hard. You see, when Tommy was in high school, he was a football player, but he just wasn't an ordinary football player. You see, he was a smart football player, and he would get all A's in every single one of his classes because after he got done practicing, you know what he did? He studied. While he didn't play college ball, he still kept his education up, getting good grades, and he actually graduated and he got an amazing job as a manager of a company. You see, because he worked so hard, people saw that he was management material. And that didn't even stop there. You see, he continued to work hard at the job that he currently worked for. His boss looked at him and saw that he was a go-to individual. He made tons and tons of benefits to the company in regards to developing projects and creating different programs and having these ideas in his mind that he would share with the company. And when the company implemented it, it absolutely grew tremendously from the efforts of Tommy. You see, Tommy was a hustler. Tommy was someone who didn't just stay for 8 hours, take a lunch. He was someone who stayed 8 hours with a lunch and then worked 4 more hours at home to make sure that not only was his work done, but that the other projects that he was doing on the side for his company actually came into fruition. And so the company can implement them so that his life, or that the life of the company, that is, will be totally great because of the efforts of himself. But when Tommy would look at the end of the year, he noticed something. You see, Tommy noticed while he was giving these efforts, while he was working very hard and diligently to make sure that the company succeeded, he realizes that every single year he would get a 3% increase, a 2% increase, a 5% increase. He would get a few $1,000 bonuses here and there, but he realized after working for the company for 7 years, his income only changed a net $8,000 in a 10-year span. He was looking, wondering, how could this be? He never really noticed that he was appreciative of the increases that he was getting throughout his decade of working for the company. But he wondered how he could only make $10,000 or $8,000 extra by working so hard for the company. You see, Tommy was on the left side of the equation. And let me tell you what I mean by that. You see, Tommy worked for the owner of the company. And when I told you, if you remember when I talked about how money flows, or that money flows differently based on, where you are in this particular equation, right? And so I said Tommy was on the left side of the equation. So let me explain to you why Tommy was on the left side of the equation. You see, the business owner is the one who owns the company that Tommy works for. And so this is what occurs. You see, the business owner gets his money either from himself, maybe he earned money in the past, he gets it from maybe a bank institution, or he gets investors who like his idea and began to invest in his business so that that business can grow. And so the investor, let's say in this example, gives him money. Then the owner of the company takes that money that he got from the investors, and he has to decide what he needs to do with that money in order to help the business grow for himself and the investors. And so he takes a piece of that money that he was given, and he takes it and he gives it and distributes it to individuals who he would call his employees. He would give it to maybe the manager, Tommy. He would give it to individuals who work under Tommy. He would give money to individuals who maybe work alongside of Tommy, or even individuals who may be above Tommy, might be a senior manager, right? And so gives them a certain percentage, or actually gives them a certain dollar amount of that particular money he got from the investors so that his business can grow. And so the owner has to decide where that money goes. You see, the owner has already preset the price for the job description that Tommy worked. And so Tommy is only going to make in a certain range that was already pre-created by the owner of the company. And no matter how hard he worked, because he's in a position that has already given a preset range of how much it was going to pay, then Tommy would always be stuck in a certain realm of income and never deviating outside of that realm. Now, here's the good side of that. You see, Tommy may not want to take the risk of the business owner, right? He may not want to be someone who has to take that risk and the chance of maybe losing a little bit. So the benefits that Tommy gets is he knows that to some degree there's some sense of stability as long as he does his job. You see, the downsides is that he's losing tons and tons of money because he's not the owner of the company. The company, the owner that is, have already preset how much Tommy can make. And no matter how hard he works, even if he works harder than the owner, he's on the left side of the equations. His income will only stay at a certain level. You see, the owner has the upside because the owner gets the benefits that the business gains when it builds based on the efforts of Tommy. And so when you're on the left side of the equation, when you become an employee of a company, you have to understand what the benefits are and what the downsides are. So maybe you're someone who works for a company, right? Maybe you're someone who works for a company and you're not satisfied with how much money you make. And even if you're looking at the raises that you may get, you realize that it's not going to be that much. And that the lifestyle that you want to live, the dreams that you have, may never get accomplished if you work for this particular company during this particular occupation. And that maybe you need to be someone who's a business owner. If that is you right now, based on what I've just told you right now, then I believe that I have an amazing program that will absolutely help you understand how to become a business owner so that you can get on the right side of the equation, and so that the money that flows can flow more in your direction so you can benefit from the money that gets spread across one of the greatest countries, or the greatest country the world has ever known. So if that's you, go ahead and click on the link that should be somewhere in this post and somewhere along this video so you can take the opportunity to not just become an employee, to become a business owner and be right on the right side of the equation.